Fake Love, Jungkook Reader. Prologue. It was at that moment when I realized this was all fake love. Was I hoping for a perfect love life? No arguments, no fights, chill dates and hot kisses? Not really. All I ever wanted was someone who would love me for the rest of my life, with no second doubt, someone who would give me themselves fully and treat me sincerely. I thought he was the one, until that rainy Saturday night when my perfect wonderland turned into hell. Jungkook and I have been dating for more than 3 years. He and I met in high school when we were just a bunch of silly teenagers looking for love. It was back then in junior year when I discovered my huge crush on Jungkook, playboy / the hottest guy in the entire school. Back then, to him, I was just like every other girl, who would follow everywhere he goes and be obsessed with everything he does. I think he only fell for me because I was perhaps a little prettier, taller, and skinnier than the others. Nah, but what he told me was I was the nicest girl he had ever seen in his life. And yes, I was so nice back then. I was kind and nice to everyone. People often took advantage of my kindness, but I didn't mind. In order to get close to Jungkook, I promised I'd do everything he tells me to. I did his homework, made breakfast, bought him lunch, and even when he broke up with his 29th, 30th, 31st girlfriend, I was always the one person comforting him. Not that I was not jealous. I totally was. I just couldn't bear seeing him so depressed like that. My kindness eventually melted his ice-cold heart, and yeah, we began dating. It all started at the end of the senior year of high school, and we figured that we would go to the same college. We were the couple that everyone wished they were. We were relationship goals. We went everywhere together, and it's quite common if you witness the hottest guy in school making out with his girlfriend in the middle of nowhere on campus. I was shy about it first, but eventually got used to it. I thought it was going to last forever. I thought this is what true love really felt like. But I was wrong. Deadly wrong. After 2 years of happiness, Jungkook started to treat me differently. Little by little, we started seeing each other less and less. The hot makeouts turned from 3 times a day to at most 3 times a month. He wouldn't pick up on my calls, and if I text him, it would take him at least a day to reply. He barely comes back to our little apartment anymore. He says he's busy with his basketball stuff. Was he really? But I don't let any of that bother me. I pretend like nothing was going on and everything was perfectly fine. I kept telling myself he still loved me. He's just busy right now. Everything will be fine. I forced myself into believing him. But now looking back at it, I finally realized how foolish I was. 2 weeks ago, Saturday the 14th. It's been raining the whole week, non-stop. Jungkook went on a trip to Jeju Island with his friends on the basketball team, and I was super worried for him. So before his flight back, I called him. Cookie-ya. He seemed tired, a little annoyance in his voice. Yeah, babe? When will you be home? I forced a smile. I made you dessert. Chocolate pie, your favorite. Oh, really? Thanks, babe. I'll be home by 10. No need to pick me up. I hesitated. You sure? It's quite late. No, it's fine, babe. You should get some rest. You've been busy preparing for finals. I chuckled at the fact that he cared about me. But even though he says I should stay home, I decided to go pick him up anyways and give him a big surprise. Alright, if you insist. Have a safe flight back, babe. He hung up and I rushed into the kitchen and started making Jungkook's favorite dessert, the chocolate pie. 3 hours later, when it was 9:10, I left the apartment and drove to the airport to pick him up. It says that his flight will arrive around 9:40, but I got there 10 minutes earlier so that I could have time to prepare. I decided to hide behind something and jump out when he comes out and give him a big hug and a long kiss. We haven't seen each other for 3 weeks, and I missed him so much. After finding the perfect hiding spot, I hid there and waited. The time was 9:42. He should be walking out any time now. I heard a light chuckle. It was him, Jungkook. I smiled a little and peeked out. Still, I didn't see him. And suddenly, a manly arm appeared in my vision. Then the beautiful face that I missed seeing, and finally, his entire body. I was so delighted that I finally saw him after 3 weeks that I almost didn't realize the girl dressed in the shortest skirt and the most see-through shirt standing next to him. head in his arms, hands on his thighs. WTF? I froze when I saw the scene. What the hell is going on? Oppa, the girl said in a cute tone that Jungkook probably enjoyed but disgusted me. Jungkook smirked a little as he pressed his lips towards hers. It soon melted into a deep French kiss. I stood there, not knowing what to do, tears running down my cheeks like a waterfall. My heart felt like it broke down into pieces that could never be repaired again. Without even knowing it, I ran to them, pulled the girl out of Jungkook's arms and gave her a huge slap on the face. "Yeah," the girl screamed and gave me the dirtiest look. Jungkook seemed mad, but as soon as he turned and saw me, looking like a zombie bride, mascara under my eyes and running down along with my tears, and my red lipstick all ruined. I probably looked like a ghost, but I didn't care. "Babe?" He looked frightened for a second. It's not what you think. Look, let me explain." "Let you explain? I completely lost control. I let out all of my anger. You son of a bitch." I cried out even louder. "How could you? After all these years, just for that hoe? I can't believe you did this to me. I mean, what the hell?" Jungkook looked shocked. He had never seen me like this before. I was always quiet and gentle. I had never yelled at him or cursed a word in front of him in my entire life, and even though he can be really unreasonable at times, I always just let it go and forget about it. But that day, I guess I've lost my shit. "And you?" I turned to the bitch standing next to Jungkook crying. "Why the hell are you crying, huh? Because I fucking slapped you? Well, guess what? You deserved it. You want to know why I'm crying? Because the man I loved for 4 years cheated on me for a slut like, oh my lord." The girl cried even harder. "Sung Jiwon, that's enough." It was Jungkook. "Don't just go around slut-shaming people. Look, I wanted to tell you this next week or sometime later this week, but let's break up. I don't think we're really suited for each other." Even though I was mad at him as hell, those words still hurt me. It stabbed me like a knife and the pain was unbearable. I still cared about him, but I knew there was nothing I could do to change his mind. "Oh?" was all I said. I looked at him once more, the man I loved for 4 years, and peeked at the girls crying next to him. Jungkook had put his arms around her to comfort her. I smiled helplessly and turned around and walked out. Present day. I sat on my bed in my bedroom. I stared out the window at the colorless sky and sighed. Jungkook. Did he even love me? At this point, I wasn't sure anymore. Do I love him? Yeah, I think I still do. But the more I love him, the more I hate myself. Why did I fall for him in the first place? The day I met him popped into my mind. The angelic little cute bunny smile turned into a devilish smirk. He was still handsome but evil. And the more I hate myself, the more I hate him. After our breakup, no one really came to comfort me. I locked myself in my bedroom for 2 weeks, and no one bothered to call. I was a mess. No friends, no life. I gave the best of me to him, but all he gave me was pain. These past 2 weeks, I thought about many things. I thought about how life would be right now if I didn't fall in love with him. Would I be dating a man who actually loved and cared about me? Would I be hanging out with a bunch of friends on a fine Friday night? Or would I get a pet and name him Fatty? I didn't get any of them because from all that, I chose Jungkook. If only I could turn back time, start my life over, and perhaps get a little revenge. End of prologue.